Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It's FA Cup weekend and we've already had an absolute blinder in this competition and an absolute snooze fest in the other. Funnily enough, the games that you expect those two to be were actually the other way around. Wolves versus Coventry wasn't the snooze fest, that was the scorcher. And well, Man City Newcastle, pretty routine. Second half was basically a training session. So before we come to Chelsea versus Leicester, I'm going to address that and also today's Premier League football because something happened and I need to talk about it. But Wolves versus Coventry. Coventry are in the semi-final of the FA Cup. This is the beauty of the FA Cup. You never know what's going to happen. And how did it happen? Well, Coventry were 1-0 up. 1-0 up, leading, right? And then 83rd minute, they let it go. 1-1, right? 8 Nori. And then 88th minute, 8 Nori assist. I forgot who scored. But Wolves go 2-1 up. Well, that's it. It's basically done at that point. Coventry have bottled it. Well, 96th minute, Coventry get the equaliser. The 100th minute, 90 plus 10, Coventry get the winner. So Wolves have bottled it. Unbelievable. Beautiful thing about the FA Cup. Anything can happen. It's the oldest cup. It's the oldest cup competition in world football. The FA Cup. It's the oldest existing competition in association football. And this is the beauty of it. Anything can go down. So there's that. Man City, routine win against Newcastle. Newcastle didn't even show up. I mean, Man City weren't even unreal. I mean, they came off the gas. As soon as they scored the second goal, it basically went into training session mode. Newcastle just not even there. Anyway, Man City are in the semi-final as well. So the current semi-finalists are Coventry and Man City. There's Chelsea, Leicester, and there's Manchester United, Liverpool that we are going to witness tomorrow. But Chelsea versus Leicester is happening first thing, 12:45 kickoff, lunchtime on a Sunday. Wonderful. But before we get to that, Tottenham. You'd think I'd be happy. Tottenham got roasted today. Yeah? Well done. Grilled. Cooked. Beautifully. Barbecued. Pochettino likes a barbecue or two. Well, Tottenham seem to really love barbecues because today they got barbecued. And they got barbecued by who? By Fulham. You'd think I'd be happy. I'm not. The one time, this season, where I looked at to Tottenham, I looked to Spurs and I go, you know what? If you get 3 points, I won't actually be that unhappy. And what happens? Spurs lose 3-0 to Fulham. Fulham, who because of that win are now 1 point behind us, albeit we've got 2 games in hand. But we've got to play Arsenal and we've got to play Spurs, funnily enough. But Fulham are now 1 point behind us, so Tottenham, thanks for nothing. Bottle jobs. And I know they're going to be like, well, you are too. I know we are. But you guys are meant to be good. Even when you're good, you're not. You're crap. When you're meant to be good, you're still pants. I don't understand. Honestly, Tottenham, thanks for nothing. Anyway, Fulham are now 1 point behind us. Cheers. And Tottenham, well, they missed a chance of going into the top 4. So that's that. Anyway, now let's talk Chelsea. Chelsea versus Leicester, FA Cup quarter-final. And look, I've got 2 sides of the coin that I want to address. The first side, shout out to Miz. The first side is I know a lot of people are looking at this game thinking this should be a nice straightforward win. It's Leicester. It's another championship team. And who knows? I know some people are getting excited because they think that we're going to get Coventry in the semi-final draw if we get through. So it's another championship team and then we can get another route to the final by beating a load of championship teams. Just like we did in the Carabao Cup final. In the Carabao Cup. Well, Leicester are not going to be as straightforward as I think many expect them to be. Leicester are technically a de facto Premier League side that are playing in the Championship. They are going to make it up. They're top of the Championship. They're coasting. They are going to get promoted. But it's not going to be easy. And if there's one thing to learn from this competition is that anything's possible. Now, on that basis, do I think Chelsea will get through tomorrow? I think realistically we should. Realistically. And that's not meaning I'm taking Leicester lightly. I'm not contradicting myself immediately here. I'm not. But there should be enough quality there to still get past Leicester. I think it's going to be tight. I don't think it's going to be a battering. I don't think it's going to be a comfortable day. But at home, I expect with Leicester are coming with injuries as well. I expect Chelsea to be able to get this over the line, right? It should be the bare minimum. But the beautiful thing about the FA Cup is anything can happen. Like we've witnessed today, where Wolves got knocked out to Coventry in that manner. So anything can happen. So bearing that in mind, let's talk about tomorrow and how we should approach it. We come off the back of the game against Newcastle. And this is where there are a couple of things in terms of the players that we're going to address when we get to the starting 11 that I think we do need to do. But aside from that, we've got players coming back. Chilwell is actually available, it seems. He is going to be ready for selection tomorrow. Now, on top of that, not just Chilwell, but Badiashile is also going to be available. Chilwell is still getting assessed on his knee and all of that, but apparently the damage isn't bad and he will be available for selection. Does that mean he starts? Personally, no, I don't think so. But apart from that, that's basically all the Chelsea news. Everything else is basically the same. So we're not coming into this game with an injury crisis, if we're being completely real. When I say injury crisis, I mean we've got players out that have been out long term that we know are going to be out for a while. So we're not even thinking about them right now. Like a Reece James. I mean we've got that covered with gusto for now. So Leicester are not going to be coming with their top goal scorer, Jamie Vardy. There's going to be no party, I'm afraid. Well, unless if he comes over on the pitch after the game, after they've already done a number on us, God forbid. But Jamie Vardy is out. Not just that, but McAteer is out. He's out. Ricardo Pereira is out. And Dennis Pryor is out as well. So, or they're all expected to be out. I mean, you never know, last minute, Leicester might pull something. But those are the names that are expected to be out. This is why I say, realistically, if this was at the King Power Stadium, I'd be a little bit more sceptical here. And we've lost at the King Power before, so there's that. But coming to the Bridge, I honestly expect Chelsea to be able to get, I don't want to say a routine win, but I think it should be a fairly straightforward afternoon at the office. I do think we can concede, but I do think that we should win. So, bearing that in mind, apart from that, I've not really got anything to say about Pochettino, for example, the press conference. The press conference is the press conference. At this point, I've gone past caring what he says. And to be honest, I think the problems at the club are so much bigger now. But I'm not going to address the press conference. I'm going to go straight into the starting 11 or what I think we should do. This is down to me. I did say that in the Leicester preview, I will be telling you what I think needs to happen, especially in regards to Mykhailo Mudryk. And this is the moment that we've been waiting for. This is now what we're going to get ourselves into. Let's get into the starting 11. Right off the bat, straight on screen, this is my starting 11, ladies and gentlemen. Let me explain. Petrovic in goal, for sure. Now, I don't expect Chilwell to walk straight back into the fold after having had his knee assessed in an FA Cup game where we're not playing Man City. We are playing Leicester. I think we should be able to cope with a Cucurella. I stress we should. Cucurella didn't have a good game against Newcastle, let's be honest. But he starts for me. On the right, Malo Gusto, for sure. He starts for me too. I'm going to explain about the centre-back situation. Disasi is the only one that has been fully fit throughout the entire season. Pretty crazy. Has not missed a game where he's been available for selection. Disasi, has always been up for selection, basically. It's not that he's always played every single game. He's not. But he's always been available. He's not been injured. I'm not thinking about resting anybody. Why? Because our next game is in 2 weeks. Why are we resting? I'm not resting. This is a cup game. This is a cup game, and this cup competition actually means more to Chelsea now than the league does. Especially with the fact that the coefficient isn't exactly in England's favour yet. And it depends on what Arsenal are going to do against Bayern Munich, what Bayer Leverkusen are going to do against West Ham, how far the English teams are going to make it, and how far the German teams are going to make it in all three competitions. That is up for debate. So I'm not looking to 8th to try and get Conference League. I'm not doing it. Because right now, that's still not happening. We need to win the FA Cup if we want the Europa League football. Simple as that. Unlikely, but it's our only real hope. So I'm putting all the eggs in this basket, right? Disasi, and I would, honestly, alongside him, play Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva's not played in how long, right? Against Leicester, you'd think he can do a job, right? A little bit of experience to carry us over the line, to make sure everything is coordinated, to be able to deal with a Leicester front line that is not going to be at 100%, should be able to cope, right? Badiashile, I wouldn't just throw in there, especially having come back just now from injury. I would wait it out a little bit. And even so, maybe start with Thiago Silva. If you want to shift it and the game is going in our favour after an hour, feel free to take Thiago Silva off, because we also have to acknowledge the fact that he's 40 years old. So that is something that we've got to take into consideration. But that would be my centre-back pairing. Do I believe Thiago Silva is going to start tomorrow? No. And I don't think we're going to see Thiago Silva play, if he does, for the rest of the season. That's my honest opinion. Let's wait and see. The midfield, I think it picks itself. I think, actually, does it pick itself? Enzo is suspended, so he can't play tomorrow. Caicedo is definitely going to be starting. Alongside him, I feel like the only other option is going to be Conor Gallagher to play in a double pivot. Is it ideal? No. But Gallagher tomorrow needs to be able to... I mean, look, Chelsea are going to have a lot of the ball. So Gallagher would have a little bit of license to move forward. But he does need to come back and do a bit of the dirty work and not allow Caicedo to get exposed. Because Leicester do have a couple of quality players in their team. We have to acknowledge this. So they're not going to be a walk in the park. We still have things to focus on and not get caught out on. And we know what the midfield can be like when they're imbalanced or when one midfielder leaves the other exposed. We can't have that with Caicedo because people will run past him. Gallagher needs to be there to do the dirty work alongside him, and they need to be moving as a coordinate block, right? As a two, as a pair. So I would put Gallagher alongside him in the double pivot. In front, I would play Mudryk in the 10. Now, some are going to say no. Play Chukwuemeka in the 10. And play Mudryk on the wing. And leave Sterling on the bench. I'm not totally against that. I'm not. Because as far as I'm concerned, look, if I have my way completely, Sterling's not starting tomorrow. If I have my way completely. But some would say, well, you do have your way. Why don't you just play Mudryk on the wing then? And just play Chukwuemeka in the 10? Because I want to play Mudryk in the 10. And if we play Mudryk in the 10... I would then look to play Nicholas Jackson on the left. But who's playing up front? I'm not playing Sterling false 9. And I'm not playing Palmer false 9 either. We ain't got anyone. By the way, Armando Broja didn't play today for Fulham. Funnily enough, Fulham did well without him. And we're getting 4 million because of it. Because he's not made the appearances that he needs to make in order for Fulham to not pay any money. So we're getting 4 million. But as Matisse beautifully said, what cost? At what cost are we getting 4 mil? 4 mil's coming in, yeah, great. But now, Broja, anyone going to buy this guy? Maybe not. Maybe they will. Maybe we'll have to let him go for a very low price. Who knows? But anyway, I would not play a false 9. And because of that, Jackson has to go up top. And if Jackson's got to go up top and Mudryk has to play in the 10, because I feel like we have to see Mudryk in the 10. I'm not going to play him on the wing. We've had enough of that. Mudryk has shown something potentially for him to be able to play as the 10. We need to take this a little further and see what he's going to do. Lower league opposition, championship team, I stress, like I said, they're technically a Premier League side. But you get the gist. A team that Mudryk should be able to cope against, like he did in the 10 against Leeds, I would play him in the 10 for this game against Leicester. So for this reason, Sterling on the left is what I will reluctantly go with. At the same time, I don't expect Sterling to put in a howler tomorrow because it's Leicester. Because it's a slightly lower ranked team. This is where I think Sterling finds himself with a little bit of breathing space and he tends to sometimes deliver. I wouldn't be surprised if Sterling scored tomorrow. I wouldn't be shocked. But if this was a fully fledged Premier League game, I wouldn't be starting Sterling. I just wouldn't. Because, yeah, he's stinking up the place. So, this is what I would go for tomorrow. We'll analyse it. We'll see how it runs, see what we do. And then going into the game against Burnley in 2 weeks, we can then reanalyse and see what we're going to do there. But this, with Palmer on the right, as always, keep doing what you're doing. That link up with Gusto as well is working very well. And Nicholas Jackson up front, he has to keep doing what he's doing as well. He seems to be playing better than he was pre-AFCON, that's for sure. But Still things that need to be improved on, but he's delivering to an extent, and I can deal with that. He goes up front. We see what happens tomorrow. This would be my starting 11. So as I tell you guys to make sure you are here for the watch long tomorrow, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of that watch long and the review after the game. Let me know your starting 11s in the comment section below and your predictions, which I'm about to give now before we end. I am going to go with a Chelsea 2, Leicester 1. That's what I mean when I say I think it's going to be tight. It's not going to be a walk in the park. But I think we get over the line. So, Chelsea 2, Leicester 1. That's my prediction. Let me know yours down below. And I will catch all of you on the watch long as we go through the motions and we watch Chelsea versus Leicester and we see if we're going to make it to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Let me know your thoughts down below and I'll catch all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you lot then. Take care and peace.